Hello, welcome to Cape Lear Latinos. My name is Jeff Sanchez. I am an ESL instructor at Cape Lear Community College, and I also work at Central Latino as Director of Operations. And I've been teaching ESL now for 2 years. One of the most important lessons that we can give to new speakers of English is the vowel lesson. Now, especially concerning Latinos, people who speak Spanish have only 5 vowels to contend with. In English, we have the same 5 vowels, but those 5 vowels make 18 different sounds. And therefore, I've come up with a way to teach this in my classes. So we'll talk about these vowels. Of course, the vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. We also say sometimes Y. Okay. The 2 major ways that we pronounce these vowels in English are called long and short. So we'll put that up here. Okay. What I'll do is I'll give you an example of the sound of each vowel by spelling a word that illustrates that sound. Now you'll notice the long vowel sounds all sound like the name of the vowel themselves. So we have game, we have bean, fine, hope, and tune. Okay, so we have A, E, I, O, U, game, bean, fine, hope, tune. So again, the long vowel sounds match the name of the vowel letter itself. All right, and of course we sometimes have Y. The long vowel Y sounds like the letter I, die. All right, so we've already got 5 sounds here. So in Spanish, that's all you have to contend with. Everything else from here on in is an addition to the people who are learning English from the Spanish language. Now we'll talk about short vowels. Okay, so the short vowels are A, E, I, and So we have cat, bed, did, top, fun. And for the Y, we have the word gym. Okay, so already now we have 10 different sounds for those same 5 letters. So we'll keep track of how many different sounds we come up with. And you'll see why this can be daunting to somebody who doesn't speak English as their first language. So the other thing that affects vowels is when we add consonants after the vowels. The first letter we're going to talk about is the letter R. And you'll see that the letter R changes the sound of each vowel. So for the letter A, of course, we have the very common word car. So the letter A does not sound short or long anymore. Now it sounds like R. Okay? And we're going to talk about for next. And I'll show you why we're talking about these first. For has its own sound. OR makes OR. AR makes R. What's interesting about this letter is that the way it affects the other 3 letters, meaning E, I, and U, is identical. So we have her, sir, and fur. All right, so these 3 here have the same exact sound, her, sir, fur. All right, so that's important to remember when we're learning the vowels in English. Now, the next letter we're going to add is Y. Now, when we add a Y after an A, it doesn't change it all that much. It stays long. Play. But you'll notice that when we add a Y after E, we get they. So this letter, when followed by a Y, sounds exactly like the long A. Okay? We don't add a Y after an I. We do add one after O, and we get oi. So we get the word joy. Okay, now, what's interesting about the letter U is that when we add a Y after it, we get the sound I, which is the long I, like as in fine. So we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So now we're up to 14 different sounds. Okay, next letter. The next letter is the letter I, which is a vowel. And it's similar to the way that the Y affects the vowels. So the first word we have here is gain. Okay, again, very little change to the sound of the A. But when we have EI, you can see that this is a pattern because this one sounds like this one and this one sounds like that one. So vain and gain have the same sound. All right? We don't add an I after an I except for this word, Hawaii, and also radii. Neither one of these words is English, though. This is a Hawaiian word, and that's either Greek or Latin. I'm not sure. All right, now when we add an I after an O, we get oi again. So we have the word noise, N-O-I-S-E. Now, for the next, we have the letter U, when followed by Y, can make two different sounds. The first sound is exemplified by the word fruit. So when you add an I after U, you can get oo, or exemplified by the word build, you can get a short I. All right, so we're not going to add any new sounds here because all these sounds have been made before. Okay. All right, the next letter we add is W. When we put a W after A, we get the sound awe. So the word there is A-W-E, which gives us awe. Okay? 15. When we put a W after an E, strangely enough, we get the long U sound. We get oo. Okay? So we have through. You can also think of other examples, few, new, pew. Okay? And we don't add a W after I, but we do add one after O, and we get ow, as in now. 16 sounds. Okay? And we don't add a W after U. All right? Okay, the last letter we'll add is the letter U. Now, when we add a U after an A, we get the same sound, aw, as in August or Australia. Okay? We don't add a U after an E except for this word here, which is actually a French word, so we don't worry about it too much. So if you ever see EU, that's French. It's not English. All right? And again, we don't add a U after an I, so we go straight to out. O-U-T, out. All right? And we do add U's after U's in the one word vacuum. But there's nothing to throw you off there. Thank you very much. This is Jeff Sanchez for Cape Lear Latinos.